I've been dreaming about this day for years. This is one of those occasions where it's just so hard to line up all the stars. Everything with the elite crew, the waxing moon, 4 days before a full moon, in March, perfect weather. We've got everything geared out. We're ready to roll. Everything's coming together.
So this winter, I've really had pole spearing, a big wahoo on my mind. It's been my goal for the whole winter. So a couple weeks ago, Luke and I did a trip down to the southern Bahamas, and Luke managed to stone a 40-pound wahoo with a prototype pole spear that he and I are developing. And if you haven't seen that video, check it out. I'll put a link down below, and you can watch the sort of the prequel to this video. But at the end of the trip, we were looking at the calendar, looking at the moon phase, and we knew that mid-March we had an awesome moon, and we really wanted to get out on another trip.
My name is Luke Maillis. I own and operate Real Addictive Charters based here in Clarence Town, Long Island, Bahamas. I specialize in extreme spearfishing charters, deep sea fishing charters, as well as guided trips around the Bahamas, and getting clients out there on and in the water to have epic adventures and push their adventure to the max.
So at the end of the last trip, Luke and I decided we had to try and make it out one more time this winter. And we looked at the calendar, and the moon coming up was gonna be actually a super moon, the March moon, and we just knew we had to make it work.
I told Brad, you know, we'll make it happen. I'm pretty sure if you come down here, we've got the perfect timing with the moon. Just fly in and we'll get you on the fish.
So as the dates got closer, we kept checking the weather, and we had a very small weather window. I mean, we're talking like 9 hours on a Friday.
Brad flew in on a Thursday, and we had one day to make it happen on a Friday.
The wind was gonna die off in the morning, and it was gonna pick back up in the evening, and we had one opportunity, and we're looking at where to go, and we just couldn't make it work where the Headhunter boat was located. So we changed plans, and I booked a ticket to Long Island and went down there to visit Luke down in Clarence Town.
Hey, yo. Property. You don't know, this is lion is a burning man. It's all about positive energy. So I said, stop stepping, funky music. Listen.
It's always fun getting back to Clarence Town. In 2011, I was down here working on a boat called the Blank Check, and spent about a month in Clarence Town, a month in Flying Fish Marina. And when the weather would lay down and we were able to get out to Diana Bank in March, the fishing was phenomenal. You know, we were catching 80-pound wahoo every day. We caught a couple 100-pound wahoo, and ever since then, I've been dying to get back out there and really put the time in. So I was super excited for this trip to get out to Diana Bank. Since then, in the last 9 years, they've really done an amazing job with this marina. The marina's been redone. They've added a killer hotel, an awesome restaurant. There's a pool. And if you're traveling on a boat and you want to get down south, I mean, this is the last spot. Flying Fish Marina is the jumping off spot for crossing over to the Turks and Caicos. I mean, once you get down to Crooked and Acklands and Mayaguana and Inagua, there are no marinas. So you fuel up in Clarence Town, you wait for your weather window, and then you push on south.
It's 5:30 in the morning. I'm getting jacked up on some coffee, and we are headed to Diana Bank. We're beyond pumped, man. The weather is awesome. There are a couple sport boats that have been catching fish like crazy this week. We got the super moon in 3 days, and a front's coming. So by this evening, it's gonna be blowing 30 knots.
At the last minute, Luke invited Igor to come diving with us.
I'm Igor Liberty from Switzerland, freediver. Yeah, deep freediver, pure freediver. I don't spearfish, but...
Well, Igor, you know what time it is?
6 in the morning.
No, it's spearfishing time.
Super cool guy, amazing diver, never spearfished before. So we were gonna have some fun with him.
Mirror.
The wind.
Well, we're at the launch and the weather's looking a lot better than we had hoped. We thought it was gonna be a little bit breezy here, and it's even flat calm.
Here we go again. Bring him in.
So the boat's in the water, we're headed out, and you can't imagine how pumped Luke and I are at this point. It's flat calm, the moon is in 3 days, we are so ready, and right as we get across the reef and start heading to Diana Bank, we spin the hub, and we gotta turn around.
The hub on the boat started spinning out, so it kind of threw a spanner in the works for us.
So with the spun hub, we were thinking about flipping a coin and saying, do we go for it? Do we not go for it? But, this was at 7:30 in the morning, and, by dark, the wind was supposed to just clock out of the northeast and just go nuclear on us. And the last thing we wanted to do was be stranded at Diana Bank and have this wind just blow us south. I mean, no one's gonna come get us. We're probably gonna end up in Cuba.
We had to play it safe, we had to stay near shore, we had to hit some local spots nearby.
As we headed to a spot closer to shore, we were a little bummed that we weren't making it out to Diana Bank, but tell you what, the first spot we jumped in on, we just threw a little bit of chum, and man, the place just came alive. I mean, there was bait, there were small blackfin tuna everywhere, sharks coming up in the flashers, sharks coming up in the chum, wahoo swimming around, and we completely forgot about the fact that we didn't make it to Diana Bank, and we were just laser focused on getting another wahoo on pole spear.
So we start doing some drifts and we see some wahoo coming around the chum. Brad goes down and he makes an approach and he takes a long shot on it.
I line up on the chum, the fish comes in on it, I think it's a lock, and then it makes a last second turn. I covered the distance, took a shot, and the tip didn't toggle.
Hits the wahoo, but it's a long shot right to the end of the spear and it just doesn't penetrate enough and it swims off.
I'm racking my brain, I'm trying to figure out what the hell happened, right? Like, why didn't this tip toggle on? I know this setup works perfectly. I've used it in Fiji, I've used it all over. And I realized that it's one that I've used on a standard pole spear, but I'd never used this same setup on a roller. And the rig didn't work on the roller because the roller band moves backwards before it goes forward, and it touched the shooting line and pulled it back a hair and snugged that tip on. And the tip didn't toggle in the fish, so I lost it. But lesson learned, and honestly, that's one of the reasons that these trips are so important, right? We bring new gear out, we bring new ways of rigging stuff out, and then we see what the hell doesn't work and what does work. And I'd rather lose the fish than have one of our customers lose the fish. So in a roundabout way, I'm glad it happened, but it was a learning moment. But lesson learned, time to re-rig and time to get after it again. For the rest of the day, we don't see any more wahoo. We're just doing drifts for hours after hours. And we're starting to run out of chum. And before we went out, I told Luke, I'm like, we got one day. I'm not messing around with shooting chum. I'm not gonna go after small wahoo. Like, this is the time when the big ones are here.
And he was saying, I'm just gonna focus on just getting one big wahoo, let the little ones come in and go, not gonna shoot anything else.
And now here we are 5 hours later, and we need some chum.
So Brad's like, okay, I'm just gonna shoot the barracuda, we'll get some chum. And what happens? His spear is occupied, he's got this fish on his spear, he's got to jump in the boat. Sure enough, the big wahoo rolls right on in.
And right when I'm handing the fish into the boat, Luke goes, wahoo, big wahoo. And I turn around and see Luke pointing at a fish, and I have no spear.
I hand Brad my spear, and he makes a move in towards it. And the wahoo starts pushing off. He can't really get a shot.
And one last pilchard hits the surface halfway between this wahoo and myself. And as this thing's just sinking, this big fish just goes, eyeballs it. You can see its eyeball just turn and look at the chum, and it circles around and it's coming right back for me. And I just go for it. Make a dive, load up, cover the distance, and just let it fly.
Brad makes his move in on it, just nails the perfect shot.
Break its back, fish goes into the death spin, and I see the tip, and the tip hit the spine and pop back out.
The tip is just barely hanging in the fish.
And with the tip already in the wahoo, I line up and shoot it again. I'm pushing the spear into it, and the fish goes full speed, and Luke lunges and just bear hugs this thing. And I think the whole thing from start to finish was over in 11 seconds. I can't tell you how grateful I am to Luke for handing me that pole spear. I still can't believe he did that. And this is definitely, you know, one of the coolest fish I've ever shot. And getting that mission to come together, I mean, it was just awesome. We get back to the fillet table later, and Igor's rapping in Italian. We're drinking some beers, cutting up this 60-pound wahoo, and man, it was just such an exciting fish.
Crazy. Allora, oggi pazzesco, fuori di testa. C'era questo pesce enorme, grandissimo, lì è arrivato all'ultimo momento e questi ragazzi con questo cavolo di elastico così, bam, l'hanno preso. Pazzesco, fuori di testa.
Well, hope you guys liked this video. If you did, subscribe to our channel. We're going to keep the content coming, and stay tuned. This spear will be on the market hopefully this summer.